You can let attendees in now.
Good afternoon and salam. I am Miriam Afalabi, a member of the MACFEST team. Welcome to MACFEST 2022. This afternoon, we are thrilled to take you to America to meet an award-winning filmmaker, Babar Ahmed, and an acclaimed artist, Lubna Zahid, to learn more about their creative journey. Hosting this event is Chris Sacarabany. Let me say a few words about him. Chris has nearly 15 years of experience in intercultural and interfaith program management. He is a co-executive of the PBS award-winning documentary, Nobody Wants Us, that tells the story of Jewish refugees who escaped Nazi-invaded Europe and came to the United States in 1940. Prior to joining Nobody Wants Us producing team, Chris served as the executive director of the Foundation of Ethnic Understanding, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to strengthening Muslim-Jewish relations globally. He also worked as a consultant at UNESCO and was a program manager at the Foundation Homme de Parole, where he organized the 3 World Congress of Imams and Rabbis for Peace from 2005 to 2008. He holds a master's degree in interfaith and intercultural mediation from the University of Aix-Marseille in France, and is a huge supporter of MACFEST. Thank you for joining us so early on a weekend, and over to you, Chris.
Thank you, Mariam, for your kind introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Greetings from New York. It's 9 a.m. here. Thank you all for joining this event. I hope you're all doing very well today. I am honored to host today's program, Hello from America. Let me first thank my esteemed colleague, Qaisra Shahraz, Mariam, Talha, and all the MACFEST team for organizing such event and for hosting global events featuring Muslims and other faith leaders who build bridges through arts and culture. Allow me to greet our special guests and speakers. Acclaimed artist Lubna Zahid, who will showcase an exhibition of her artwork, and award-winning filmmaker Babar Ahmed, who will show his superb short film, Tikkun Olam. We are looking forward to hearing from you about your outstanding career in the field of art, the challenges and the successes you personally and professionally encountered throughout your journey. To both of you, Lubna and Babar, I am thrilled and I'm humbled to be with you today. As artists, you played a critical role in helping us see our humanity, in shaping new narrative, in opening minds and hearts, in offering new perspective, and thus in providing powerful tool to build bridges and celebrate our common faith and common fate. Without further ado, I am honored to introduce Lubna Zahid. Lubna Zahid is a classically trained fine artist who works in mixed media. Strongly influenced by contemporary and classical calligraphy in Urdu, Arabic, and Persian, her pieces include texts in these languages. Typographic elements in her works rely heavily on the progressive post-colonial movements in the Muslim world in the 20th century. Her work is inflected deeply by the works of masters like Mansour Rahi, Dulac, Klimt, and Kahlo. Lubna has exhibited her work in the United States and Pakistan. She has taught workshops and seminars on art and art history in various venues, including the Smithsonian's Freer and Sackler Galleries and the American University in DC. She is currently a studio arts instructor at the Smithsonian. Lubna, we will let you showcase an exhibition of your artwork, and we would love to hear from you about how you started your journey, what inspires you to create, and what is the ultimate message you want to convey through your artwork. Lubna, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for having me. I have been as an artist, if you ask me when did I start painting, I just have been painting forever. But it has been a long journey, and I'm still on the journey, still working on it. And it has been different aspects of it and different phases that I went through in this journey. So I will start with a presentation. I'll just showcase you my work, and we can talk more about it. I basically work in water mediums, watercolors, gouache, acrylics, and sometimes I work in oils also. But and then I also recently, not recently, but for the past 10 years, I've been working in mixed medium also. So when you see my work, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Let me share my okay. Oops. So this is a very inspiring piece for me, and this was kind of a start of my journey in between many phases, you can say. This is called illumination. This is art of the book, and you must have seen panels and decorations like these in the Islamic world, especially in the Quran, art of the Quran, and in the art of the book, which are the albums, which were usually made or commissioned by kings and nobles. And this has all very intricate work in watercolors and gouache and gold. And in the middle is the Arabic writing. And the Arabic writing that it says is Al-Kana Kanzola Yanfa. And it means, let me give you the meaning also of it. It means contentment is an inexhaustible treasure. So this kind of work, it takes a lot of practice. And I've been trained for doing illumination by master calligrapher and illuminator Abbas Baghdadi. And it takes quite a lot of practice, and you have to have a special technique to paint them. There are different techniques of painting these also. This style of painting in the Islamic world is called Shams or Shamsa. Shams means the sun, and it means that there's a point, the starting point, and the rays are going outwards. And it is illumination. This illumination is an important part of the art of the book. It is the art of decorating the handwritten manuscripts, written panels, and albums with opaque watercolor and ink. And you can see a different style over here also. there are repeated elements in the Islamic art, such as the use of geometrical and floral and vegetal patterns. And this style is called arabesque. And arabesque is like, and when I started doing this, I then realized that the same kind of stuff was being done in the West also. And they were like, our work was like in the East, it was done mostly by the Islamic world, but in the West, it was also done in the Christian world, in the monasteries. And illumination was basically, most of the time was done by the monks. And that's how it started also. And it was done on sheep or goat skin. And the pigments that were used were real stones, which were crushed and then mixed into gum arabic and then painted with it. But right now, I do use like the real pigments also, but at the same time, there are so many good materials that are available in the market that one can use those too, like opaque watercolors and gouache.
Lubna, if I may, how long does it take in average to do such artwork?
It depends. It takes like for example, the first one, the Shamsa that I showed you, that took me about like 2 months to finish.
2 months. Okay. Wow.
And
in terms of color, can you use any color for?
Yeah, there are some traditional colors that are used, but as I progress, I have realized that I want to be more expressive and I want to use my own color also. And it is like the choice of the artist, what they want to use.
I understand.
And in the arabesque in the Islamic world is often used to symbolize indivisible and infinite nature of God. So that is also because when you see these patterns, whether it's a vegetal pattern starting from one point or a spread out pattern, it also like symbolizes the infinity of God, that there's no end and there's no beginning. So it keeps on spreading. It's like light, illuminated light. And here are some of the writings, and these are like more like Arabic writings.
Absolutely gorgeous, mashallah, Sister
That is
Lubna.
beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Can you, for the Arabic writings, can you tell us, especially for the people in the audience who don't read Arabic, what it means?
Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. This is what it means, that to you we ask help and to you we look for help always. It is like a prayer. And then some of them are the names of people, like Yusuf, that is on the right side. And then I actually can't see the whole thing because of the control panel. I think it is just okay. So Eid Mubarak. That is on the right corner, like right corner at the bottom. That was Eid Mubarak.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then again, this is like arabesque, and this kind of motif, like this is again a kind of Shamsa in arabesque. So there are basically like 3 styles in the Islamic world, like that are like what you can categorize the Islamic art or the art of the book into 3 parts. And there is the arabesque, which is the vegetal patterns. Then the second one is the geometric patterns, and the third one is the calligraphy. So there you will find that there would be some which are the combination of these patterns, and some are just by themselves. And this is a geometric pattern. And these motifs, they often appear in the opening of a traditional Arabic, Persian, Turkic, or Indian illuminated books. And but I have like painted a lot of like Shamsas and a lot of like illuminated patterns, borders, and panels. But then after some time, I realized that I have to take them to a different level. So that is when I started making Shamsas like this.
Wow.
And this is like a more like a contemporary style. It has writing, it has the same component. It is radiating from the center and going outwards. The writing is very expressive mark making. And it, to me, it expresses like energy and rhythm and movement. And the word that I wrote around it is al-mizan. It means the balance. It's like exploding Shamsa. And it means balance. It means it represents justice spreading in all directions, because al-mizan means balance. So it is like the balance around us and like around everyone and everything in equal measure, and which is what we want at this time. Like it is like a really important thing at this time and age. And we are actually, I feel that we are out of balance in the world right now in terms of equality and justice and like even religion. And this is again a geometric pattern, and this is a little bit of a combination of geometric and vegetal pattern together. And the gold on it is real gold. The
Real gold?
Pigment,
wow.
Yeah, real 22 karat gold. And it is done in gold leaf and gold paint. The pigments are real pigments. And this is like, this also took me like about like 2 months to finish.
That's magnificent, really.
Thank you very much. So this, you can see that it like all these designs, they do like, they are inspired by balance and harmony in the universe. And you can like, I mean, take it to any level, whether you can see it as a cosmic thing, you can see it around yourself as a light radiating, like a light starting from one point and radiating around you.
Yeah, I have a question while you're presenting your artwork. Is you started your journey in Pakistan and then you came to the US, and I was wondering, do you see a difference between Pakistan and the US when it comes to opportunities for Muslim artists to create?
There certainly is. There certainly is. And people, I do find people are very open towards diversity. They want to learn more. They want to know our tradition of artwork. And in Pakistan, it was like, because everybody was doing the same thing, so it was fine. And but over here, when you present your work, I find that people take interest and they feel very much, they want to know the process. And I've been teaching these classes also for a long time now. And it does take a kind of like a mindset that you have to, it is like it take, because it is not something that you can do in one go. So you have to like, it's very peaceful. It's like kind of a therapy. So you just go and you just, when you're doing it, it is like kind of repetition that you keep doing it in the same way. Because it does represent like a repetition of pattern, and the geometric pattern and the vegetal patterns are all rhythmic and balanced and repeated. And that's when I started, like, I do like this work a lot too. This is more traditional work, but I have been doing a lot of like Shamsas and work, which is more expressive, which has like more linear quality, more energy in it. And it represents a little bit of a, like what I represent for myself and for my country and what I think of, what I stand for.
Actually, we can feel the energy with the Shamsa. Well, that's what, with the first, for instance, Shamsa, you shared with us. I can feel the energy. I was wondering also, you were saying that because it's repetitive for you in terms of drawings and there's also a therapeutical aspect of it. So that's for you. What is the impact on the audience? Do you have feedbacks? And maybe do you see a different impact on Muslim audience and non-Muslim audience?
My work is for all. It is not specific to one nation or one group of people. Mm-hmm. It is for all. And the traditional work does speak mostly to the traditional people, but my work, which is more contemporary, it speaks for, it is for everyone. And it does represent the topics and the things that are happening right now in the world and what I believe in, and those things that I want to show to the people and want to make it into a conversation. And I want people to talk about those issues. That's why I started taking the traditional form into a contemporary form. Traditional is decorative, it's beautiful. It is, I would say that it is more of a decorative form, art form, a beautiful, beautiful decorative art form. But contemporary, taking all those components that are in the traditional form, when you pick them up and put them into contemporary form, then that is where I represent myself. It is not just what it is. It is like the paintings will represent what I think, how I feel like. So that is what the contemporary art would feel like.
Thank you so much for sharing with us your approach. It's really inspiring. And if I do understand, and then I will let you continue showing your presentation. Can we say that there was an evolution between the day you started back in Pakistan and now in terms of approaching your artwork?
Yes. Definitely there is, because I still paint a lot in watercolors. I love to paint in watercolors, but the thing is, I think that before, maybe in the journey, when I started, I wasn't that much aware of how I can use my art as a medium of expression and my feelings. So I was doing art for the sake of art. So just, for a decorative purpose, and making all the art. I've done a lot of work in floral, and then the manuscripts, illuminated manuscripts, a lot of that work. But then at a point, I started to think that the art should be there, but then it should also express how I feel, whatever is happening around us. And I felt strongly about a lot of topics, a lot of things that are I don't agree with, or I want to talk about with others. So how can I do that? And then I felt that art is one medium that I can incorporate into my like a writer writes, and they express their thoughts through writing. So that art is my medium of expressing myself. No, and being an immigrant, being an immigrant from Pakistan, going through a lot, and it has been a journey by itself. I learned a lot, and then that made me think on those areas where I've never thought about before. So that's how I started to, I wanted to, merge the East and the West together in my work too, because I do love the traditional way of making illuminations and our traditional artwork. So I wanted to, marry them both, but also being able to express what I want to say to the world.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your thought process and your approach. That's amazing. I'll let you now continue presenting, and I will ask a few questions also.
Oh, okay. So this is like you know how like I mean I feel that politics and religion has made us choose boundaries, and I feel art has no boundaries. And you can like talk about anything with art without any religion or politics, but then you can also find a ground which is a mid ground where you are able to be at a friendly terms and be able to talk about the subjects that are not very easily you know, rotated around. So this is like this painting is called Sein, and this is the center of the piece is like a octagon, and the octagon is in a very like widely recognized architectural structure. The Dome of the Rock is also octagon. So this is about the war about religion, and this it has a poem around it, which is written by Ahmed Fez, and it says, "Pir bark faroza hai sare wadi sina, pir rang pe hai sholai rukhsare hakikat." And this was like he wrote it when he was in Beirut, and he saw the missiles crossing crossing the Mediterranean, and it was like they were from the Israeli side, and they were bombing and all that stuff that was going on at that time. So he was like very much, I'm sorry, I'm like really, I'm not feeling well today. So just let me, bear with me a little.
Yeah, take your time, take your time.
So this is when he was like, he was watching the streaks of rockets being fired from Israeli gunboats to the Mediterranean into the areas south of Beirut. So that's when he wrote this poem, Fez Ahmed Fez, and that this means that once again, ablaze with lightning are the lands of Sinai Valley. Again, the face of reality is colored with fire. So I just wanted to show how, like, you know, it is important how the world is shattering, how it has become like a shattered glass. Everything is in chaos, and we have to put everything together. I'm actually part of a group which is called Jam Art. Jam Art means Jews and Muslim artists working together.
With my dear friend Walter Ruby.
Oh, Ruby, okay. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I feel that we are all the same, and we are all like, you know, we can talk about the things, we can make art together, and we can forget about our differences and be on a more peaceful and more friendly platform with each other. And that is what the world needs right now. Not more wars, no more wars.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have two questions in the chat room. You already answered part of them, but I will ask them. Why is this type of art important to your culture? And do you think your worldview affects your art?
I think it is important because it will make you think. Whether it is like a negative or a positive thought, whatever it is, but it makes you think, and then it starts a conversation and a dialogue with others. And that is, we want it badly, you know, that is what we want. We want to talk about the stuff that we are not comfortable with. And that will make the world a better place for us to live in, and to leave a better place for our children also.
definitely. Definitely. Okay.
This is Arabic prayer, Rabbi inni lima anzalta alayya min khairin faqir. It has writing in it and a topography in its like areas, different like parts, and it looks again like a shack, like a broken glass. So this was like written by Faiz also when he was imprisoned, and he wrote this couplet when he was looking at outside the window, and he could see the crossbars of his cell. So he wrote, गड़ी है कितनी सलीबें मेरे दरीचे में, हर एक अपने मसीहा के खून का रंग लिए. How many crucifixes make up my prison cell windows, and each colored by a different Messiah, that people like, everyone has their own Messiah and they want to prove that they are right. So this is basically about religious differences, how the wars and all these things are happening only because of that. And if we forget that and come to a point, and the point in the center of the painting is, it says Al-Mizan. Al-Mizan means balance again. So we have lost our balance because we are so busy and so adamant to prove ourselves that we are the right ones. And if we forget for a second and just concentrate on humanity in general.
I am so grateful to you for all these explanations, because I'm learning so much. And especially the artwork, so the bigger artwork on the left on my screen it's beautiful. It's yeah, it's absolutely mesmerizing.
Thank you. So this is like, again, it is like very aquatic blue color with ink in it. It's like a big splash. But at the same time, the center is very balanced. And that is what we want. We have to go back to our center and find that balance, where humanity is our top priority and not other things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm under the weather right now.
No, take your time. If you need also to take a break, or let us know as well. Take your time. I really appreciate that you are offering, this presentation to all of us this morning. I mean, today.
You're welcome. Now, this is a painting that I did when Black Lives Matter was happening. Again, that is also very close to my heart. The gender discrimination is something which is like, which brings the humanity to its lowest level. And this is a poem which was written by Bulle Shah. And he was a very philosophical poet. And he wrote about the racial discrimination at that time. It says, Chal Buleya, chal othe chaliye, jithe sare anne. Buleya, he's asking himself, Bulle is his name. So he's saying, Bulle Shah, let's go to a place where everyone is blind. Na koi saadi zaat pachane, na koi sanu manne. No one asks about from where we have come, who we are, or what we do, and doesn't base anything on our color. So this is like so important in today's world when so many people are migrating from different races, from different colors, and they are like assimilating in different areas in the world, and then they are penalized for that. And that is what basically I wanted to, start a conversation on this also, to talk about equality, about justice.
I guess that you there's someone in the audience who said, let's go to a place where everyone is blind. And I guess it's where your heart came into play, because you are helping us, again, opening our minds and hearts. So there's a choice, either being blind or just trying to be the best version of ourselves. And your art is definitely helping us to do that, actually, to question ourselves and to transcend ourselves. I guess I was about to say that, because here it's related to, you said, to Black Lives Matters. I guess that the past few years you had a lot of topics to cover with your art, with the Muslim bans, with Black Lives Matters, with the Women's March, also gender inequality in the US. And I was wondering, so how, when you came to the US, I think it was around 2000, how 9/11 impacted also your work, and how did you use your work to build bridges at that time with your American fellows who didn't know much about Muslims and Muslim culture?
Well, 9/11 had a lot of like negative and positive impact on people like us. Negative in the sense that we were like penalized for that. We stood out. People wanted to know more about us. And then at the same time, we made friends. And I made some great friends during that time. So I would say that everything that happens, it happens for a reason. Not that it was a good thing. It was it had a huge negative impact on the world at large. But there were things that were good also that came out of it. It did help me make some decisions regarding my work. I wanted to channelize my work more into pieces that were more like conversation pieces, that they had topics that people would like to talk about, or I wanted people to talk about. So if that is what that is what it meant to me.
I see.
And migration was something that it's happened to a lot of us. We have migrated to this country for a reason, and there are usually two reasons that people migrate. There is like, they either migrate for an economic reason, for their living standards, to like for that reason, to study and to have a better economically get better, or for their life to save their life, for their safety. So these are the two reasons that people go from one place to another. And I think those people who migrate are very brave people, that they like leave their comfort zone, they leave their loved ones, and then start their life new in a new place.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt.
Exactly. And because I was one of the immigrants, so I feel that very much, that how important it is to be really to open our hearts and our mind to new immigrants who come to this country or migrate to this country.
Thank you.
or any country, I would say, because yeah, we are here in USA, but like the rest of like we have people from all over the world right now. Qaisra is in England.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have friends also from Indonesia. I saw that in the chat room.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
So this is a painting that I did during the COVID time. And it's, I just call it hope. And hope is that we, you can see the cloud, the dark cloud of COVID hovering over the land, and it's dispersing, and the blue and the shiny sky is coming out. So there is hope that we will get rid of this disease and this like monster, and we will get out of that, out of this. So you can see the incorporation of the Arabesque design also in it. The typography is something also that is that I just like to do a lot. I develop my own fonts and develop my own letters, and you must have seen it in my other paintings also. So this is one of them. And this is also like a couplet from Faiz, and it says, "Gul hui jati hai afsurda salakti hui sham." That this darkness is like, you know, it is coming to an end now. Dul ke niklegi abhi chashmae mehtab se raat. That a new moon, a glowing moon, a bright moon, or a bright light will come out of the dark night. और मुश्ताक निगाहों की सुनी जाएगी, and then the like all the curious eyes, you know, they will be looking at each other, because right now in the COVID time we are all wearing masks and we cannot see each other except for the eyes. So we are like actually talking with our eyes right now, like when we are wearing masks. So this is about that. In haathon se mas honge ye tarse hue haath. There will be a time when we will be able to touch each other, hug each other. Because for the past two years, we haven't been doing that, and we are longing for it. And we have been just looking at each other's eyes just to see the expressions of happiness and sadness. But there will be a time when we will be able to be close and be like, you know, touch each other and hug each other.
After realizing how it's important. Yeah, that's true. So true.
Very important.
Mm.
Yeah. Just a close-up of that. And this is called Muktu. And it is like, again, a traditional Indo-Persian Shamsa. And you can see the cool colors and the warm colors. It is like kind of a seal with a splash. Maktub means written. So written that the pens have lifted, the pages have dried. So whatever is written is written. It's about destiny. And how it is like, it is there, but it is fluid also in a way that we can change it. And there is like an aspect of it that we can, you know, we can change and we can take things in our control. And that is how we make our decisions. It all depends on that. Our choices.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. And then you can see the combination of the traditional and the contemporary form of the art.
I see.
Now, this is like a piece which is done by me as like a person who has moved from one place to another. And this is a map of the place where I grew up. It's Islamabad, Pakistan, and I long for it. I'm very nostalgic about it, and I haven't been able to go there for the past more than 20 years.
Oh,
But I, I I do want to go back sometime, but to express my feelings, you can see all the birds that are converging back to a point. And that is the point where my parents' home is. And then sorry, you have a question?
no, I was about just to ask, do you still have a lot of family in Islamabad?
I do have family in Islamabad, yes. And this is like, it has again writing on top, the whole poem by Faiz Ahmed Faiz. And this one is when he was on exile, he wrote this poem. And when I heard this poem, when I read about it and read this poem, I felt that this was like exactly how I feel. And that
Thank
is
you
why
for sharing your personal journey.
So yes, this was like exactly, this is how he expressed, and this is exactly how I feel also. It's became my journey too. He was on exile and he wrote about his homeland. So I think it is like, I think this is all for now.
Well, we thank you very much for your presentation, for taking the time. I know that today you felt a little bit under the weather, but it was absolutely mesmerizing to to see all these beautiful artworks, also to understand more where you're coming from and also what you want to express and convey in terms of message. So really, really thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for bearing with me with my cough. And I've been like a little bit not 100% today, but thank you for that.
All good. All good. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Now we will introduce our next speaker, and we'll take a few more questions. You know, there will be a Q&A session at the end of the program, so there will be more questions for you also, Lubna. But now we'll introduce our next speaker, Babar Ahmed, who is a Washington, D.C. based filmmaker. He has produced videos for the International Monetary Fund and World Bank on topics such as global aging and urban development. He wrote and directed the feature film Amka and the 3 Golden Rules about a young boy in extreme poverty. The film was classified by Emirates Airlines as one of the great movies from around the world in their onboard playlist. Last year, he wrote and directed the short film Tikkun Olam about a homeless veteran in Washington, D.C. The film, which we are about to watch, was awarded by the California State Assembly as a groundbreaking film. Both films are currently available on Amazon Prime. One of his feature-length screenplays, Lost in D.C., was a finalist in the screenwriting competition last year at the 52nd Nashville Film Festival. We can't wait to watch Tikkun Olam, Babar, and to hear from you about how you started your journey and how you came about this idea to do this film. Babar, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. And just want to say that the work Qaisra is doing really, impactful in bridging, building bridges between cultures and between societies. So thank you for inviting me. I'm really honored. And before I just talk about my filmmaking, I had a question for Lubna. They're really good. There was a quote about let's go to a place where everyone is blind. I was wondering what, that is a very interesting quote, and we had like a lot of things. So what that means, Lubna, can you just talk a little bit about that?
About the quote
The
that
quote, the
everybody.
quote, yes. Let's go to a place where everyone is blind, because I thought that was
Oh.
really powerful.
Oh, okay. So that is like Chal Bulia. Bulia is his name. You know, he's asking himself. Like if I ask myself, "Okay, Chal Lubna," it is just like that. Chal Bulia, Chal Othe Chaliye, Tithe Sare Anne, where everyone is blind. Let's go there where everyone is blind. Na koi saadi zaat pachane, कि हमारी जात को ना, nobody asks about who we are. Na koi sanu manne. Nobody is there to elevate us or put us down also. And like look at us because of our color, like elevate us and put us down because of our color and where we belong, from where we come from.
Wow, really nice, huh? And lots of nice things you already said about art, how it bridges different cultures and how one can express themselves. So really appreciated all that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Babar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to show a short film that I worked on called Tikkun Olam. And the story is about a young boy and his friendship with a homeless veteran in Washington, D.C. The story was inspired by real life events, and Washington, D.C. has the highest homelessness rate in America. So you'll see, it's very like there are lots of homeless folks. And so this was inspired on that. And the short film was, it won lots of awards last year. It's available on Amazon Prime. So that's one film that we're going to show. My own background in film is that I studied initially economics and development studies. And then I went on a vacation to the New York Film Academy, where I was inspired by the approach to working. Because before that, the approach to working was what the salary is, how many promotions you can get. Whereas here the approach was trying to make a difference. And also this was an environment where there was no, the barriers were very low in terms of people interacting with each other. Like it didn't matter which background someone came from or where someone came from, what age someone was, but the goal was the same, to try to make an impactful film. So when I went to the New York Film Academy, that's where I thought that this is something that I want to pursue. So Chris, shall we show the film then?
Yes, please. Yes, please. And thank you for also sharing a bit more about your background of it.
Okay, let's see if this share works. Let me put the volume up. Okay. Okay, so the film is 10 minutes long. Let me just quickly stop my screen. Okay.
Barbara, is there sound?
Yes, there should be. Can you hear the sound?
I can't at the moment.
Still no sound?
Yes, still no sound.
Okay, one second. Let me just try that once again. Sorry. Okay. Now are you getting the sound?
No. No, there's no sound, Babar.
Okay, one second. Just give me 1 second.
Take your time.
Okay, let me see why.
I think you can click the share sound when you are sharing your screen. Maybe that could help.
Okay. Okay, let's try once more. Nothing still?
No, nothing. I can share for you instead.
Okay, maybe Mariam, if you can do it, that would be.
Okay, no problem. Okay. I hope you can hear now.
Yes, we can. Thank you, Mariam.
What did you find out the problem was? Okay, so we need to fix that. Hello? Hi, yes. Do you have the slides and docs?
Babar.
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't
end,
know
yes.
if you were able to see the comments in the chat, but the audience was very moved by your
Thank you so much.
short
Thank you.
film. It's really a poignant film with a powerful message of compassion and kindness. I love that even the mask of the child with the baby Yoda on it. There's so many topics you are covering in just what, 10 minutes. I have a few questions. I'm sure that the audience will have questions as well. The first one will be for the title. Why did you choose this title? And also, why did you choose a short film format to convey such message?
So the title is a Hebrew phrase meaning healing the world. And for me, this inspiration came from Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, who is was a family friend. He's passed away about 1.5 years ago. He was a famous theologian, philosopher, and someone who really cared about building bridges between societies. So he wrote a book called To Heal a Fractured World, in which he explains that, how we can make a difference. And making a difference is not just to us and to our families and to our people close to us, but making a difference to people who are beyond beyond our society. So that's where the phrase comes from, and I felt that it fits the story in that sense. And for this film also, one of the inspirations was my brother, who really inspired and helped, and with the story and the production and everything, to really put it together and to try to bring out the most authenticity in the characters as well.
How did you came about with this idea to do
The
this?
idea, so in Washington, D.C., anyone who lives in D.C., it would be interesting that you always pass by homeless folks. So I actually was working for an organization at one point, and there were lots of homeless folks on the streets. And in the beginning, when I passed them by, I would, feel like, why are they homeless? And you always thinking like that. And I also volunteered at a few homeless organizations in the Washington, D.C. area. But very soon you stop thinking about it. And then there's this concept of looking away. When you see an injustice, it's if you get used to it, it's very easy to get used to it. And sometimes, like when things are in fashion, then people stand up, like, we need to stand up for this cause. But when it's not in fashion, then it's very difficult to say, oh, there's something happening. There's someone, a human being who is sleeping on the floor, who has no home, and to actually make a difference or try to do even a small thing, it's actually a very difficult thing to do, to stand up for something which is where the society is all looking away. So from there, the inspiration came, and also, when one looks into it, like a person sometimes feel that there's homeless and then there's us, and we're two different groups. But if you look into it, the reality is that we are exactly the same, and we are all just one step away from being homeless. And sometimes we have this false insecurity that we may have these secure jobs, or we may have a secure assets. But many homeless folks, they were doctors, lawyers, multimillionaires, and very quickly circumstances can change. So anyone in DC, I think, would be able to relate to that theme.
I would like to come back to this. Why did you choose specifically to do a short film format?
Really good question. So that's actually a really good a filmmaking question, because it's there's a debate actually, whether one should do it, whether one should not, because a few years ago, because there are two different formats. Feature film is 1.5 hours plus, and a short film is usually under 30 minutes, most commonly around 10 minutes or so. And they're two different formats. The short films in the past used to only be shown at film festivals, and they were used more as a tool for a filmmaker to say, look, I can do this. Now I want to make a feature film. Feature film is the long film format.
Mm-hmm.
So it was always a step towards a feature. It was very rarely a format in itself. But over the last few years, this format has really been solidified. Places like Amazon, Netflix, they're screening short films. So, and people sometimes only have a short amount of time where they want to get the same message within that amount of time. So this format has really come, to that, it's solidified. For me, I was at the stage of my career where I felt that this particular film, I could portray this message in a short amount of time. And at the same time, it was also something where I felt that instead of doing a feature, this is something where I can also experiment a little bit on. Because with a feature, if something goes right or wrong, then the consequences can be very long term. Because there's a big budget, it takes a long time. Whereas the short, the budgets are very small, it's very quick to film. So a person can be, I feel, much more creative in how they express themselves.
Thank you. I was wondering also, you mentioned Rabbi Sachs a little bit earlier when we were just in the meeting room with the panelists. We were mentioning also your esteemed father, Professor Babar Ahmed, and his work in interfaith. I was wondering how your faith also personally impacts you and inspires you to do your work or in your work.
So I feel that it's like in what I have seen growing up, generally positive examples from my faith. So people who are artists, people who are reaching out to other people, people who are trying to make a positive difference. But at the same time, I grew up in Pakistan, England, America. When I would see images of Muslims, then there would be completely the contrast of that, almost something like I couldn't even comprehend. And I still feel that's the case, because even like now, if you go to certain places, then it's very different to what's portrayed. So I think seeing, for me, faith, my faith, also interacting with people from other faiths, the people that I came across was generally people who were trying to make a difference, trying to reach out, and trying to do something which was beyond, just, oh, I'm doing something for myself, but they're trying to do something for a bigger purpose.
I see. I wonder also, you choose to work with a child who is, his acting is remarkable. Why did you choose to do so? And in the bio I read from you, I also saw that you did the same for a previous film. So why is it important for you to have children as a centric character?
For this film, I felt that we were seeing the world through the boy's eyes, which is through everyone's humanity and through what we once were and what we can be. So before a human being is, basically like you can say maybe in some ways like changed, or the negative things that happen, that's the point where a person is seeing the world without any prejudice, without any stereotypes. So whereas the rest of the world is used to society, and the society saying just walk by, look away, this boy is coming through it with a fresh view that this is something he's looking at it in terms of the goodness, and it's what we can all become. So that's the reason. In the previous film, Amka and the Three Golden Rules, which is available on Amazon.com. Both these films are available on Amazon. Also, it was through the boy's eyes that we saw a bigger theme. So in that film is about family, about kindness, and that bigger theme was seen through the boy's eyes, and how a boy can be is seeing more influence in the sense that he is coming from it from a pure point of view, and someone is coming in, so he's seeing everything without prejudice.
And especially with Tikkun Olam, was there or is there any influence regarding policies, for instance, in Washington, D.C.? How did it impact the audience? You're mentioning that it received many awards. Everyone can understand that. It's remarkable, and I'm just wondering, how was the reaction of the audience, not only in terms of watching it, but also being inspired to take actions, and maybe for some policymakers to do something.
So first point is that in the DC area, a lot is being done. So there's some places, for example, just outside DC, Montgomery County, where the veterans homelessness rate is completely finished. So there's a lot of positive work which must be recognized, and they, volunteers, full-time workers, but it's a very complex, something very complex and challenging, which experts deal with. As a filmmaker, you just highlight something that one observes, but as experts are dealing with it, and a lot of effort is being put into it. In terms of the impact, the film was, the purpose was to raise awareness, however, small it may be. Or so with this, first it was shown at lots of film festivals, it was shown at lots of conventions, lots of policymakers have seen the film. So it has made, so they've seen it, it's created some type of awareness, whether it makes an actual difference, or even if it makes a little bit of a difference, that would be an amazing thing.
Got it. A similar question I ask also Lubna is, can you tell us about your evolution when you start your journey as a film writer and director, and now has your approach changed? I don't know, do you define yourself more as a film writer first or as a director? I mean, how do you see yourself now compared to when you started your journey? Oh, Babar?
Oh, is that for me or for Lubna? Okay.
No, it was for you, because I asked a similar question to Lubna.
I see.
Sorry about it.
Okay. I thought you asked. Yeah, my journey, very interesting question actually, because when I started my process, I think I was very confident in the sense that I know I want this and I want this. I think at this stage of my career, it's more about learning and understanding. And one really interesting point is the notion of directing. Like, what is a film director? So when I started, my concept of a film director was camera angles and how to make it stylistic and how to have scenic shots and put the film together like that. And then later on in my career, I realized that really has almost nothing to do with directing. Directing is really about performances and giving the actors the context of the story. So that is so the whole notion of directing for me changed. And I feel at this stage, it's really about learning and understanding. And also a second thing I feel evolved in the sense is that a teamwork is really important. It's really not a one-man show. And that is why you'll see the same filmmaker, no matter who the filmmaker, literally, you can name any filmmaker, from one film to the second film, then it may be completely different in terms of what they're trying to achieve, in terms of the impact, in terms of the quality, because it really is a team effort at all levels, from the story to the production to the editing. So I think for me, these are the things that over the process that I realized is to trust the team more, to realize the importance of the team, and to understand the role of what a director is trying to do.
What are your plans for the future? Are you already working on something right now, or?
So I have a few things in development which I'm trying to put together. The way I try to do it is to take one step at a time and really see how that step goes, because making a movie is the scale is very big, the budgets are big, it takes a long time, there's big crews involved, and then the results are they're very positive because you're emotionally touching someone. It's one of the closest things you can come to, where you're touching a human being, because you have all the elements. You have the visual, you have the music, you have the sound, you can have anything in a film. So I just feel, with the films, just taking one step at a time and then seeing how it goes. But there are a few themes which I'm exploring, and some of them have to do with, trying to build bridges between different societies, like Muslim societies, American societies, and highlight the positive in these societies.
Okay, looking forward to see your next your next work. And Lubna, this is for you. Also, same question. What are your plans for the future? What are you working on maybe right now? Or what do you plan to work on?
Just like like the topics that are in the air these days. Just want to work on that, and want to make people aware of what is happening, and that is my future plan. And
are you
teaching also?
And sorry.
And keep teaching also, because that is something that I really love to do.
Excellent. Are you exhibiting also? Just personal question. In New York as well?
Not at the moment. Yes, not at the moment, but in
so
future.
Looking forward.
Yeah, I will be.
Let me know. And I'm wondering if there are a few questions in the Q&A, or if someone else would like to suggest any other question. If not, in the meantime, to both of you, what would you like to share and convey as a simple takeaway to the audience which is with us today?
I would say that we should not keep our feelings to ourselves. And anytime we feel strongly about something, injustice that is done, the bare minimum that we can do about it is to talk about it and to make others who are around us know about it. That something which is not okay is definitely not okay for anyone. And Babar's film was so moving, and it is that it wasn't okay how people judge other people just on the base of how they look like. And that homeless person, because that is what we do, and they do become kind of you're right, they become invisible at a certain point, but we should not forget about that.
True. Babar?
I think my thing would be to basically follow one's instincts, and that ultimately that it's within art, it's your decision. So to really follow your personal instincts rather than to get the team and get everyone's advice, but at the end, what do you feel about something? I think going maybe from Lubna's point also, that's something, your feeling and your expression, that's something important.
You see, I come back to what I say in my introduction of the program, and which I really feel right now with both of you, and while you have sharing with us your art, it's really that I do believe that artists are among the most important people in terms of explaining to us or offering us a way to understand that we are one. It's because sometimes, we can speak about interfaith, you can speak about, the books, the texts and so on, but you are touching emotions, you are touching the core of who we are, and ways for us to transcend. And again, personally, I feel really honored and I'm humbled to have joined you this morning. It's that make my day. So thank you, Lubna and Babar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't see any additional question here. So I guess we will be able to, unless you, Babar and Lubna, you want to add something?
I just want to say a quick thank you to Mariam for saving the film and for playing the film. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Mariam. Yeah, thank you for your help, technical assistant, and for opening the program. And actually, I will wrap up now, and I will head back to you. So the floor is yours, Mariam.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chris, for hosting this panel. It has been wonderful listening to Lubna and Babar to speak about their creative experiences and showcasing their gorgeous artworks and the film Tikkun Olam, which is full of creativity and so much important messages that's needed in the world today. Thank you for both for being here today. And also to our attendees, both old and new, many thanks for making the time to join us always. So for our next event, which is happening next Sunday, which we're going to be listening to a collection of poems from a group of female poets called the Literary Circle of Turkeys. So please join us again. So thank you and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much, Mariam, for the fab hosting. Thank you so much, Chris, for the brilliant hosting. You were a real pro. And of course, thank you so much for fantastic Lubna and amazing Babar for their amazing work. My goodness, what a lovely afternoon. And thank you all our attendees, of course, for giving us your Sunday. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum.